My advice for someone who would start a career looking for a job in maybe a big corporate would be understand your own values and then try and match and sync them to an organization, and in my case, a corporate. There's lots of stuff on websites, obviously, but I think it's important to also look at the people side. So maybe you can find some people on LinkedIn connected to that company and see what they say and what they share about working there. Because actually every business is a people's business. So that would be the most important thing to connect to really understand what are the values and how do people live up to them and what does it mean to people. And so in selecting a career or like a position, that would really be my advice, to understand your own values first. It always starts with you, and then try and find a match and be in sync with that. So working for Coca-Cola, I think I've seen many great examples of how inclusion and diversity is really value for the business. So let me try and give you a couple of examples. I think it starts with an inclusive and diverse team. And so having a good mix, both of male and female, but also backgrounds and cultures, is great and a great asset. It also is underpinned, I think, by the study done by McKinsey that a 10% raise in diversity in a team gives you 3.5 better value and efficiency. So, and I've experienced that myself, having more input, having marketeers, for example, with different backgrounds, looking at a brand and a brand campaign actually makes you more successful. So that's one example, really starting with you as a team or as an organization. And then looking at some of the programs that we've done, supporting women, and there's tons of studies out there, really show that that's an important step to help communities back on their feet or make them more resilient. And so in the 5x20 programs that we do, so we try to support 5 million females by 2020 across the globe as Coca-Cola. I've seen many good examples of us really supporting women in all continents to get where they want to go. And it's about helping them understand who they are, what their values and strengths are, connect them into networks, give them training, give them tools, and then help them, in some cases, set up a business. It should always be authentic. And so I just think on vulnerability, it's very important that you show the real you and you bring in the best of yourself. And that can be a doubt, that can be an emotion, that can be anything. Just as long as you don't overplay it, because that might be the situation where others will think, oh, you see, now it's the hysterical woman or it's the angry woman or whatever. So I just think it's really important to bring it in as an asset of authenticity. And to also accept that other people have their response to that. I think that's just as important, because if you allow yourself to be who you want to be and bring in the best of you, you also need to give space to others to respond to that with whatever emotion or reflection they have. And I think I've seen in some cases people bringing something in from themselves and then being hostile or having a different reflection when somebody else then responded to that. And I think best things happen in interaction. So be the best of yourself, bring it in with authenticity, and allow others to respond with the same level of authenticity as well. So the point I made on stage was that I encourage women to talk about the flip side of the cost of, for example, having a career, because it's not always easy. And we need to be open to discuss that with everyone, not only with your girlfriends or in your own networks. I think it's important to discuss what it does to you and how it is for you if you are, for example, not with your family. I have a job where I travel a lot. I don't get to see my son every evening and to put him into bed. And so sometimes that makes me sad, obviously. It brings me a lot, both professionally and personally, obviously, in terms of showing my son that there's a different way of growing up, and moms can have a career. So I'm really proud to show him that. But there is a flip side, and we should be more open to discuss that. And when I was trying to discover some of my questions I had developing in this role, I discussed this with a lot of women in all kinds of roles, all kinds of levels. And the funny thing is, I found out that a lot of females are really happy to talk about it, but it's still a little bit awkward and uncomfortable. So I think what we all can do better is just share that in all honesty, in all truth, and see how we can help future generations of females grow up thinking that it's not picture perfect. Every decision has a flip side, and that's okay. Exactly. So there's a power in vulnerability. There's a power because it allows you to really speak from the heart and who you are and how you are experiencing it. And there's a power because it creates connection. And I think that's one of the most important things that we as more inclusive groups, so it's not about only females, but also other forms of diversity and inclusion, we need to be connected more. And we can only do that if we allow others to connect with the real, true you and me.